year. One of them is GAIL. I mean, it's still in a falling market. It's still up almost 15% for the year. LNG prices globally have seen a sharp uptick of late. For December, in fact, prices in Asia are at a two-year high of $8.6 per MMBTU. BC Tripathi, the chairman and managing director of GAIL, joins us on the phone line to analyze the impact on his company. Mr. Tripathi, good morning. Wanted to chat on a whole host of issues. First, if you could tell us, because of higher LNG prices, what kind of a boost would it be for some of your own LNG import deals?
Yeah, good morning. Well, the current prices which you are seeing is largely, since they are linked to gold, since the oil. So the point here is that as the oil is moving up, the long-term contract prices are also moving. But the spot prices are basically a reflection of a short-term supply demand in the winter season today. The China, Japan, Korea are sourcing a lot of volume from the international market at this moment of time. So that's the reason the spot prices are going up. But the long-term deals will be in sync with the oil, the way oil prices goes. But you won't see the immediate impact because it has last 3 months or last 12 months average price of crude oil. So therefore, these spikes which are there are largely because of the spot prices and because of the winter demand in China and Japan.
Mr. Tripathi, therefore, what is your in-house call on both crude as well as the longer-term LNG contract prices?
Well, as we see that today almost 70% of our LNG supply is on a long-term contract. And they will go in tandem the way oil moves.
No, if you were to sign a contract today for the next 5 years, or I don't know how long you'll normally sign your long-term contracts, where would they be? Would they be at $6, $5? How much?
Well, there is a complete shift in the LNG market. Generally, the long-term contracts are for 20 years. But of late, we have seen now people are also talking of short-term or mid-term deal, which is somewhere 3 years to 5 years or 10 years. So hardly any long-term deals are taking place today internationally because people are playing short. And in that, if you see today, it should be somewhere around about $7 to $8. $7 to $8.
Really? 7 to 8? I mean,
because of your crude price. If I'm taking crude as around 56 to 60, because when you see the projections are that by the end of the next year or mid of time somewhere next year, the crude should balance somewhere around 60. If crude remains 60, and that should be the price of the long-term volume.
That $6 to $7 we were hearing of contracts, not possible now?
Well, long-term contract, I doubt it will not be possible. Of course, on the spot you may get, but today the spot is plus $9, is reaching $10. But $6 to $7 for long-term, I don't think is the current market.
Okay. Can you also tell us a little bit about the downstream business? What kind of improvement do you see in LPG prices in the second half of the year? And what kind of an improvement would you see in your own, operational performance?
Well, as you see, first of all, in the transmission volume, we have seen the pipeline capacity utilization has grown by 2-3%. It used to be around 45-46%. It is reaching toward 50% utilization now. So that's going to be a plus side. Also, the petrochemical prices are likely to move up. So that segment should also give us comparatively better return going forward.
Okay.
And as far as the offtake of LNG, all our long-term contracts are being, the offtake is smooth, and we see that this will remain stable business. Of course, in the retail sector and the CGD and transport sector, commercial industrial sector, through our joint venture, we see the growth happening, which is growing somewhere in the range of 10 to 12% growth in this segment, overall in the retail sector.
Okay.
So within the Petchem segment, just to follow up on that, what kind of EBIT, earnings would you expect in FY17 and FY18? I mean, some analysts are forecasting that because of the improvement, you could see almost 800 crores of EBIT in FY18. Is that a reasonable assumption?
Well, it won't be fair on my part to give you a number to be specific on that, but as of now, the way the trend is, it's on upward trajectory, yes.
Okay. Mr. Tripathi, your Dominion Energy and Cheniere contracts, How long do they run?
Well, they are starting somewhere March next year, 2018, not next year, I mean year after that, 2018 March they are starting. These are 20 years contracts.
Okay, so what would your average contract price be now, counting the Dominion Cheniere contract as well?
It should be today, it is somewhere close to what we have the Qatar contracts, because at a crude price of $65, the price for oil and the Henry Hub link indexation are by and large at same level.
So what, that's $8? How much is it?
Well, if it is, let's say, if it is $55 to $60, it would be in the range of around about 7.5 to 8.5, depending upon
Do you think?
what time we have.
Okay, so do you think that in the next 2 years you will be able to bring down this average?
Well, I mean, as I said, this is the factor of oil prices
Of course.
and Henry Hub prices. The future projection for Henry Hub prices is that they will remain stable in the range of $3 or so. Whereas the oil, there are different projections coming, but even if you take, let's say, a mid-path around about $60, I believe both the prices will balance out at the same level of $7.5 to $8.
Okay. Any kind of, any possible potential liabilities that still exist from the US LNG offtake?
No, of course, these are long-term contracts, and we have to offtake those volumes. And part of the volumes we are right now working on, we have sold part of the volume. Further deals are being discussed and negotiated. So it's an ongoing process.
How
because
short are you, sir, to fulfill the entire contract?
We still see a lot of these volumes will come to India. We have a demand here in India for our new fertilizer plants, new petrochemical plant which we have recently commissioned, the city gas commercial industrial requirement. So around about 60 to 65% of volume will come to Indian market. So we won't say that we are short, because that is an in-house demand. Today we are importing almost 4 million tons extra LNG more beyond our long-term contract. So this fills that gap.
Okay. So I didn't get that number. What is the total amount of LNG contracts that you've signed up currently with the overseas companies?
See, right now as a GAIL, we are consuming almost 9 to 10 million tons of LNG. And we are distributing across the segment.
Okay.
Out of that, we have hardly 5.5 million tons is a long-term contract. The next 3.5 million tons is a short-term contract or a spot market. So that gap will be filled up through the US volume largely.
Okay.
And still, as the demand grows for the new fertilizer plants, there are 5 fertilizer plants under construction. Then you have the petrochemical plants at 8. Then you have the city gas, the way we are expanding. Every year, almost 4 to 5 lakh houses are being connected. The conversion.
So you don't see any kind of pre-tax losses in the following year if in case you're unable to generate the required volumes?
See, the US contract is an FOB contract. So it has an option, either we bring to India or we sell it into international market. So it is not that it is a destination fixed contract. It is a flexible contract. It can go anywhere in the globe, wherever we get a better margins.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right. We'll touch base with you later on, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.